Okay, ይሄን ያህል አስተናጋጅ ይሄን ያህል መጠጥ I'm there like የሂሳብ ሚሞን ታውቂያታለሽ ከእንጂጋ yeah like Jesus Christus እንዴ እንደረጋጋ
At the end of third year, I was suspended for a year.
Welcome to another installment of our podcast, Netsanet.
With Latension.
Today we have Bantamlak with us.
Yes.
Bantamlak with
yes.
We're going to start with Indalibi.
Yes.
And then continue to Netsanet. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about weddings and our experiences with Habesha weddings, specifically considering the times are not the same with normal weddings.
Like I feel like the inflation is not hitting all of us and it's very unfair.
So የሆነ ቦታ መርጦ ብቻ ነው
inflation. Some of us are suffering and like some of us are not. And it shows.
How does that affect weddings?
Okay, so venue rent ለማድረግ ምግብ cake ደግሞ the thing I love about the weddings ዘንድሮ ያሉት ኬክ ሁለቴ ነው የሚመጣው so dessert ተብሎ አብሮ ይቀመጣል you take that ከዛ የwedding ኬኩ ደግሞ the tiered one ይመጣል ሲቆረሳል ከዛ እሱን ትበላለህ
እንደዛ አልነበረም እንደ ድሮ
አልነበረም
ከዲዘርት አልነበረም
በፊት ደረደሯን ብቻ ትበላለህ ከዛ በኋላ you call it a day
so also wasn't that good of a cake በጣም ይደብራል
ኤስቴቲኩ ነበር የሚያምረው እንጂ
ስኳሩ ራሱ ለብቻው you can sense it really ነበረ
ሽንኩርት መፍጫ introduce እስከሚደረግ ድረስ into cake making So, weddings. We've been to a wedding recently in Nasu. Lenif, she's a friend of a friend. Lasu, I think she's more of a closer friend. Yes. It was a beautiful, beautiful event. But I couldn't help but think, who's paying for all this the whole time? There's no way. It didn't make sense for like somebody our age to have this type of an event going on. Of course she has a good job I can see her affording it. It's not like she doesn't afford it, and at the same time it looks like are we not doing too much?
Well, that is challenge.
Once in a lifetime ተብሎ ስለሚታሰብ ነው
I think how ያው ጾታዊ አርገ አታስበው እንዳትሉኝ እንጂ ለሴቶች የሆነ ስፔሻል የሆነ ቀን ነው እና ከልጅነታችሁ ጀምሮ ፒክቸር ሲደረግ የመጣ ቀን ነው ብዬ ስለማስብ skipping it or having it to a lesser degree than you imagined it ድሮ ደስ ላይል ይችላል having it
okay
በሚለው ሐሳቤ ነው
What do you think? What was the scale you had in mind?
እኔ recently ነው ስለ ቀሚሱ ራሱ ማሰብ የጀመርኩት forget about the scale.
እኔ recently ማሰብ የጀመርኩት ስለ ባልየው ነው ስለ ቀሚሱ ስለ cake I was ready for the dress and the cake ready
ድረስ ብላችሁ አንድ አድርጋችሁታል
dresses my bad it depends on the type of family I knew would be a big deal good like seeing it in action and me being also of age and የኔ ኮንሰርኖችም ሊሆኑ የሚችሉ ነገሮች መሆናቸው I'm there like okay ይሄን ያህል አስተናጋጅ ይሄን ያህል መጠጥ I'm there like የሂሳብ ሚሞን ታውቂያታለሽ ከእንጂጋ yes like I saw the pictures መስክ ላይ የተነሱት ምናምን ነው like yes dresses and I'm there like I can't afford this I cannot do this for myself and it doesn't make sense for me to imagine everybody can as well
I've been a bridesmaid at least twice ahun so I can tell you personally how exhausting weddings are exhausting ስለሽ
ዛጋ እንደ ይቅርታ ላቋርጥሽና የሚዜ ጉዳይ ራሱ በጣም እኔ ማይጣምልኝ ነገር ነው ሚዜ ሁን ብዬ ጓደኛዬን ሚዜ ሁንልኝ ይያልኩት
እሺ
I expect him ልብሱ እሺ ልብሱ ከዛ በኋላ ያረጋዋል
እሺ
የማይከራይ ካልሆነ በስተቀር
እሺ
ከዛ የሚወጡ ብዙ ወጪዎች አሉ ሚዜ ስመርጥ I don't think ያንን ሪስፖንሲቢሊቲ ያንን ፋይናንሻል እንትን ከቨር ማድረግ ያለበት ሙሽራው ነው ብዬ
Okay.
How was your experience?
Okay, the first one fully covered never by the bride. The second one, it was like 25% no cover. I don't know. And even that was like in the thousands, double digit thousands. By the end of the day, that is nothing compared to swala yaotachu ganzab to the whole wedding and depending on how close you are to that person, it's the least you can offer as a bridesmaid masogen la setos miwta wachi demo
tell me about it
malqas alፈልግም
ላይ ለሙሽራ ነው ሲባል አሁን ለምሳሌ we can all go to a different makeup artist and the same inspiration picture አሳይተን similar enough makeup ዝም ብለን ተሰርተን መምጣት እንችላለን ግን ያው ሰርግ ነውና በግሩፕ ትሄዳለህ ከዛ ለሙሽራ ነው ስትላቸው the price goes from like 2000 ብር ለአንድ ሰው to 40,000 ብር for a group it's crazy ከዛ በኋላ ደግሞ like personal style ቢባል ነገር ስለሌለ we all have to have the same style ስለዚህ ጸጉራቸውን ይሰፉ ከተባለ ሁላችንም ጸጉራችንን እንሰፋለን or ጸጉራቸውን እንደዚህ ከተባለ ሁላችንም ይደረጋል ማለት ነው sure ጸጉር ይሰፋል ጸጉር ግን wig ስንት ነው depending on how willing you are to compromise on the type of wig like in thousands to him almost 10 አይደል አሁን like even in the like cheap range just ownish you would have to at least use 10,000 for just the hair kazas so ለሰርግና ለመልስ እንትን ያስፈልጋል ልብስ ያስፈልጋል እዚህ መልስ most likely አበሻ ቀሚስ if not dinner dress የመልሱ ደግሞ ይሄ the satin the silk ምናምን type of chu ከዛ እነሱም ደግሞ መከራየት I think አሁን እየቀረ ያለ ሐሳብ ነው so ማሰፋት አለበት ስታሰፋ እሱም በግሩፕ ትሄዳለህ አይደል መርካቶ ብትሄድ እና ዲዛይን የምታሳያቸው 1500 ብር የሆነው ነገር 5000 ብር ተከፍሎ ይሰራል ማለት ነው so all of these exponential የሆነ ሄደ ፕራይስ ይመጣና ከዛ መጨረሻ ላይ እኔ ሳላገባ እኔ in 50,000 አውጥቻለሁ ማለት ነው ለሰው ሰርግ
ቀደም አንቺ ያልሽው ላይ በጣም ክሎዝ በሆነና 50 ሺህ በዩ ከዛ በላይ የሚሆን ለዛ ጓደኛዬ ባወጣ እኔ I don't mind ግን ማውጣበት ኬዝ ምንድነው ነው ለዛ ቀን ነው ለዛ ዊክ ማውጣት ለኔ ፐርሰናሊ አልቀበለው
it's not worth it
እቤት ሲገባ ዳይኒንግ ቴብል ገዝቼ በሰጠው እኔ ሞር ለጓደኛዬ አፕሪሺየቲቭ ነኝ ብዬ ነው ማስበው
ግን የሚጠራውስ ነገር እኛ እኮ ሶሳይቲ ውስጥ አንደርስታንድ የማናደርገው it's የነሱ ካፕልነት እንደዛ big ሆኖ ሴሌብሬት ሲደረግ የሚወራ ወሬ አለ oh they're so in love oh they can afford this he can afford to manage it እና ያም ወሬ ይመስለኛል in millions spend እንዲያደርጉበት ፕሮሞት የሚያደርገው ነገር it's that topic where they can afford in millions የሚለው ንግግር ራሱ
መስማት ይፈልጋል
እና ከዛ በላይ የዛኔ በጣም ሾክ ያደረገኝ ነገር we had not slept in 3 days ከሰርጉ በፊት እና ሰርጉ ሲደርስ
ሰርጉ ቀና
ምን ያህል ቡና እንደጠጣን አታውቅም like
እንደዛም ሆኖ ኤነርጂ ከነበራችሁ በጣም ሱፐር ሂውማን ነበር
ብቻ አይደለም እንደን ደግሞ ሂል ጫማ ነው የምታረገው ታዲያ እና እግርህ is the one that's paying the price for the whole wedding they better make it work ከዛ በኋላ እግሬ እንደዛ ከተማሽ
የማገጠ ነው ምቹ ምንም ወሬ እንዳታወላቀብልሽ
በዚህ ደሜ የፈሰሰች it's a very painful experience እና አሁን የወንዶቹን ስታስበው considerably less painful no the time you spend getting ready for the wedding እና እኛ those of us who are not the bride አጋጣሚ ዘውስ የተካተት ነው ሰዎች the time money and effort we spend in trying to make that day beautiful ምንም አይገናኝ the day before like the day before the whole day ጥፍርሽን ትሰራለሽ facial ትገባለሽ everything ትሰራለሽ steam ትገባለሽ the whole day አሳለፍሻ you thought you were sleeping wrong 10 ሰዓት ትነሽና ወይም 8 ሰዓት ትነሽና ጸጉር ቤት ትገባለሽ and then እንደ አዲስ ሜካፕ ተሰርተሽ እንደ አዲስ ተፈሽኖ ጸጉር ትወጫለሽ which means there is no sleeping a day before the wedding itself the wedding itself demo the whole day ትነሻለሽ ከተኛሽ that is like 5 minutes of a break ካገኘሽ 10 ሰዓት ወይም 8 ሰዓት ተነስተሽ ሜካፕሽ ተሰራ ጸጉር and then lips and then ወዲያው ፎቶ ውስጥ ነው የምትገቢው ፎቶ መነሳት ላይ ደግሞ you better pose as if you're not tired አይንሽ ቀይ ነው you're exhausted and you're posing the whole time and depending on the cameraman you could feel very great or very horrible about your body terrible I've seen somebody roast a bridesmaid ፎቶ እየተነሳች ባለችበት ሰዓት ማለት ነው ፍረትሽ በዚህ ወጣ በዚህ ገባ ተብሎ ማለት ነው
አንቺ ብቻ ነሽ ወፍራም ሌሎች እኮ ቀጫጭን ናቸው
exactly እንደዛ ነውና it's not even that polite it was very aggressive and not for everybody else it was uncomfortable but you cannot say anything because the bride አለች and በዛ ሁላ ውስጥ you have to be emotionally stable enough to make sure that the bride is talking and having fun and actually being at the moment because she's more nervous than you are about the whole situation so የኢትዮጵያ wedding ማርፈራቸው it's አስራንኛው ሳነ የሚመጣ ነገር ነው as the bridesmaid ወይ bride's friend ሆነሽ from the party ስታስቢው ማርፈድ ሲያንሳቸው ነው ታያለሽ
ማርፈዱ ብቻ have you ever refused እንትን wedding party ውስጥ መሆን
wedding party ስቲ
ሚዜ
ወይም ግሩም ችግር የለውም
አንዴ ነው የቀረበልኝ እሱም የቤተክርስቲያን ስለነበረ ነበርኩኝ
I've done my fair share of no's and oh yeah at least 3 times
why
one I can't afford it and even if I couldn't and my family can I don't want to go through what you just explained and it doesn't make sense to like be in so much pain for somebody else to not even be happy it's like
yeah
I have parents and I disappoint them it's fine ሌላ ሰው አልፈልግም እና it's like my friend ምናምን አዋራቺ ምናምን these are not close people በጣም የቅርብ ሰው ቢሆን sure get like a distant cousin a friend of a friend or the tarafasian and they're like no I'm not doing all this I don't of course ko behed ko most likely I would enjoy myself
you really would
ግን that's not the point it's and I'll be too tired ሁለት ከላይፌ ላይ ቀን ቀድጄ ምናምን ከዛ ምናምን ስሜን ሁላ አያስታውሱትም ወደፊት and they're like no it's not relevant to me it's not a worthy time investment እኔ ራሴ ባገባ አሁን በጣም like in pictures like 10 ሚዜ ስታይ ሲያምሩ ከለራቸው ሲያም you think of like a gradient like ከላይት እስከ ዲፕ የሆነ shade የሚዜ ልብስ በቃ you just imagine a destination yes I told you it's just the husband that's missing in this story sunset akabi destination wedding ምናምን yes I'm thinking of a destination wedding that's not the point
I've never heard we've been friends for years I've never heard this before
what እኔ አዲስ አበባ የመደገስ ምንም ፍላጎት I didn't tell you my grandma's house ነው ማገባው
you have details figured out
it's the cheapest
brother የት ነው ያለው
like I take my whole wedding party and some family with the wedding party is full some family እንሄዳለን ከዛ በኋላ you make a weekend of it ማደሪያ ምናምን አያስፈልግም ማት ፍራሽ ይዘሽ ትመጫለሽ ግቢ ውስጥና ቤት ውስጥ ያድራሉ ከዛ በኋላ ተመልሰሽ ወደ አዲስ አበባ የት ነበርሽ ሲባል ወራፍት ያለሽ ቢሮ ትገቢያለሽ
የት ነበርክ እባክህን ጮክ ብለህ በለው ከዛ clearly he doesn't have to handle ish you have it figured out
እና so in my mind it doesn't make sense ጊዜሽን ገንዘብሽን ምናምን አውጥተሽ for something that may not we've heard of people like in millions አግብተው in 2 years ምናምን ይፋታሉ if you wanted a party just throw a party like look nice throw a party matching dresses ለብሰሽ and they like it doesn't make sense and also I didn't think I would get married ever so አሁንም on that mindset ስለሆንኩ wedding ያምራል ብዬ መመለስ ብቻ ነው እና ሰርግ ሄጄ what I just realized is የራሴን ብቻ ፎቶ አንስቼ ተመለስኩ
you were at that wedding the wedding she did that
እሱ ብቻ አይደለም multiple weddings where it's just I look so nice picture food
መጀመሪያ ያለች ምን ፎቶ የሚያነሳኝ ሰው ፈልጋለሁ ነው ያለች ባለው ራሱ ማለት
I look nice and I was like I need pictures so it's like why was I here yes food and then I hunted food በላውኝ ጨረስኩኝ ሲያልቅ ትንሽ ጨፈረንና it's like I have to go home
good it's very fun cool
it is fun
wedding party ላይ as somebody who's attending the wedding በጣም ይከብዳል እውነቱን ለመናገር ምክንያቱም on time መገኘት አለብሽ then you're going to have to wait an hour to at least 2 hours waiting for the wedding party
on time መገኘት የለብሽ 3 hours late
በኋላ መምጣት
ግን እሱም አለ that's also another discussion እዚህ ጋር ግን okay you could even do that እንደዛም ሆኖ ግን I hate that self ጠብቀሽ ነው ምግብ ማንሳት ያለብሽ you're going to have hope to God all your favorite foods are there by the time you get there.
Yes, alkazakazum.
So part, it's a negative fact. Again, from somebody who has been in the bridal party of the situation, it's so much fun. As expensive as it is, as it is extremely fun because everybody around you in the same energy na yallo complain iyaragachu still bond iyaragachu
yes
and half the time there's always somebody giving you some type of alcohol in the process. It's the best part.
Priority-ያችን ግልጽ ነው
I get that.
And even at that situation there's a circumstance ውስጥ ሆነሽ ራሱ you're still very beautiful by the end of it. And you've made new friends that actually are going through an extreme 24 to 72 hours with you. And all of you are slightly tipsy because the photographer gave you whiskey and you're just happy to be there for no reason.
I feel like this is a very specific experience.
በጣም ብዙ ተሰጥቶሻል
የቤተክርስቲያን ሰርግ ሲሆን what is the fun bit? I don't imagine it's a fun experience.
It's a fun experience.
It's a fun bit. Huh? Where's the fun bit? Because I've seen you ስትጨፍር ላብህን እየጠረክ I assume that's not there.
የለም እንደዛ
ከበሮ እንደምመታ አውቃለሁ
አየሽ ሰተትሽ ነው በቤተክርስቲያን ማልችለው ነገር ቢኖር ከበሮ መምታት ነው
እግዚአብሔር
አብሬ
I've seen a picture of you carrying one. I know I have. I'm gonna have to look for it ግን I know I have.
ፈልጊ ካገኘሽው እኔ ሸልምሻለሁ
እሺ ኮንቲኒው
በጣም በሰው እጅ ያደናበር የሚለው እኔ ጋር ነው ምን አይተው ነው መሰለኝ ምሳሌ ሆነ ያወጡት
wow you would assume Bante has rhythm.
Yeah.
I have a rhythm የከበሮ እኮ እንትን የሚለው ከሪትሙ ቀድመሽ ነው መምታት ያለብሽ አሁን እየተጨረጨ
you are the rhythm ያኔ
yes እሱ ነው ልዩነቱና I can't do that ግን መዝሙሩ the whole ከሌሊት ከኪዳን ጀምሮ ያለው ፕሮሰስ it's soul warming ነው እንደዚህ ብዬ መከፋፈል ባልፈልግም የዓለማዊ ሰርግ ላይ ጭፈራው ነው ሰውነቴን ማዝናናት ነው it's not even the food አሁን ሪኮግናይዝ ያደረኩት ባለፈው ራሱ ፉዱን ባልበላ ብዙም ዘፈኑ ላይ ካለው አብሬ ከጨፈርኩኝ እስክስታ ካልኩ ረግኝኝ ከጨፈርኩኝ that's good fun ብዬ ነው ማሰበው ወደ ቤተክርስቲያን ስመጭ ግን small internal calmness እና ስታዩ
ዩኒየኑን ኤክስፒሪየንስ የማድረግ ነው
it's more like የእንትኑ ላይ ደስታቸውም እንዳለ ሆኖ አንድ መሆናቸውም እንዳለ ሆኖ this is actually practicing that ብዬ ነው ማስበው በቤተክርስቲያናዊ መንገድ ሲሆን እና እሱ ደስታን ይዞ ይመጣል not just the happiness እና ምትዘልይበት ደስታ አይደለም.
Do you ever consider a church wedding?
Ever? That's my plan.
Do you? Consider ነው የተባልሽው do it አይደለም consider it. Breathe and remember.
ጌታው ልቦታ አለ
yes or no question.
ያይናል የትም ቦታ ብንጋባ the body is the temple as well. I know I don't consider a church wedding mostly because I don't find that I like them. Then I've been to I've been to more church weddings than actual ሳይሆን the fun weddings.
Do they at least ማለት በchurch wedding divorce አይፈቀድም አይደለ?
So depending ሃይማኖታችን divorce አይፈቅድም ግን ያው extenuating circumstances ሲሆኑና ማስታረቅ በጣም ሲከብድ በጣም ብዙ ጊዜ ንስሐባት ሽማግሌ ምናም ከተጠራ በኋላ በቃ ከዚህ ፖይንት በኋላ እነዚህ ሰዎች ኮኤግዚስት ካረጉ ሌላ መጥፎ ነገር ይፈጠራል ሲባል
የንስሐባትሽ ጋር ነው more discuss የምታደርጊው.
So all the couples you've known በchurch ያገቡ all of them are still together?
None of them are together.
አንቺ ብዙ ብለሽ ተናግረሽ none of them ከባድ ነው እኔ ማቃቸው አንድ ላይ ናቸው እስካሁን
I'm glad to hear that አይ like እኛ ሀገር 45% reach ስላደረገ ነው
the last one on recently ሄድኩት የቸርች wedding ገና ናቸው እንታገሳለን
የሆነ ቁጭ ብለሽ ፕሎት የምታረጊ ነው የሚመስለው
I don't
መቼ
plot
ነው
it's like you know how you play like dominoes ሲወዳድቁ ታያለሽ like the fun point እኮ መጣሉ አይደለም ነጥቡ ቁጭ ብለ ሲወድቅ ማየቱ ነው you know what I mean art ትላለከስ I know actually I enjoy myself in both cases because I chase food and I also look very good in Habesha ቀሚስ ስለዚህ ያው ለደስታዬ ስለ ሄዳለሁ እና ያው ኢምፖርታንት ናቸው እነዚህ ሰዎች ብለ ስታስብ ደስተኛ ይሆናሉ ብለ ማለት ትዳሩ itself ሳይሆን ሞመንታሪ ስለሆነ ቫልዩ የለውም ብዬ አላስብም አሁን ለምሳሌ እነዚህ ሰዎች እስከዘላለም ስላልኖሩ መጥፎ ነገር ነው ብዬ አላስብም ሰርጉ itself you know what I mean በቃ they were exercising things in good faith ከዚህ በቃ ይሁንላቸው ያጣፍጥላቸው ብለሽ ትሄጃለሽ ከዛ ካልሆነ አልሆነም ነው ከሆነ ነው ካልሆነ ያው ሌላ ሰው ታፈላልጋለህ አንተም አብረህ ከሆነም ደግሞ እንኳን ደስ ያላችሁ ይያልክ የልጆች ልደት ትሄጃለሽ
church wedding ላይ issue የሚሆነው እሱ ነው the idea of divorce either for because of physical abuse እና cheating ብቻ ነው የሚፈቀደው ነው for those of us who are not really church goers የምናቀው እና በዛ ኬዝ ደግሞ it would make it incredibly hard if that person changes into somebody you don't know or don't love anymore the idea of a divorce is going to be an issue so I'm just very curious about how those people dealt with those issues
it's more like I think it's naive to assume a lot of most people get married for love they don't
they don't
I need you people to get out in the world especially church weddings I'm sorry this will be off-putting ስትሰማው ግን like at a certain point when it comes to church weddings it's less about romance it's more about a religious union does that make sense
እሺ
so ነሳ አባቶቻቸው ያገናኛቸዋል ቤተሰቦች ያገናኛቸዋል mostly it's a selection of who is right for me ነው not ይሄ I've been ፍቅር ውስጥ ውድቅ ብያለሁ በቃ ወስዶኛል ይሄን ሰው የማግባት አለብኝ የምትልበት ቦታ አይደለም an understanding of what is important what should happen የሚለው ጋር በተያያዘ ነው my experience of it at least of 4 I've been to only one has been in relation to love and of the many ደግሞ because of the family ምናምን ይሄድንባቸው ደግሞ usually ለchildren እና ያበቃ እድሜያቸው ስለደረሰ የተፈጠሩ ሰርጎች ናቸው
I think experience ነው ማለት ነው እንደዛ አይነት እንትን ድደርች ያረጋሽ because እኔ ደግሞ personally the last 4 የርኩባቸው ስትሬቶች ራሳቸው ተገናኝተው like ስራ ላይ or anywhere in life ተገናኝተው በራሳቸው they በቤተክርስቲያን ለማግባት ወስነው ነው so በቤተክርስቲያን ሲያገቡ
yes maybe we run in different circles
might be the point
I like to think I am optimistic as life has been rough good no, I'm not so like sargochum I don't think they're bad or good because he lasting effect አቸው ምናምን አይደለም necessary the people የሆነ ተስፋ ይዘው ነው የሚሄዱባቸው and I think that's very beautiful just because they're in love they're not in love ምናምን ሳይል like የሆነች ነገር ይዘው ነው የሚሄዱት just because ደግሞ ስትጋባ I think it's not just a romance aspect of it I think ይሄ the teammate ማግኘት yes teammate የማግኘት ስሜት I think trumps a lot of the image we have about marriage itself now the union itself could be good regardless of the amount of reasons we could list for it እና ሰርጎች መሄድ ደስ የሚለው ፓርት ይሄ ነው
on time ከመጡ
by the way እኔ 12 ሰዓት ተጠርቼ 3 ሰዓት ነው የገባሁት ባለፈው
ከነሱ ኩል ገባሽ
ነው እነሱ ገብተው ምግብ አንስተው ቁጭ ሲሉ
ኢየሱስ
እነሱ አይደለም እነሱ ምግብ አንስተው ቁጭ ብለው የኛ ቴብል ተራደርሶ እኛ ምግብ ይዘን ስንመጣ
የመጨረሻው ቴብል ናቸው እነሱ
እድለኛ ናት ግን
ከዛ እና ባንቴ ይዛጋሉ አሉኝ እና ባንቴ ከሄድኩኝ ምግብ አለ መጣ ምግብ ይዤ ሄድኩኝ it was an exciting time ምግቡ በጣም ይጣፍጥ ነበር the service was amazing one of the waiters helped me find my favorite wine I'm very happy with that
አፈላልጓ መጣለሽ
yes
በጣም 5 stars
ጓደኞች I think they liked it አይደል your friends the white one
yes they liked it
yes
Pamela
no medium white አለ ግን like አዲስ ነው ገና ማርኬቱ ላይ ብዙ አልቆየም ይሄ ሾርሾ የሚለው ጣም አልመጣም
there's this location በጣም ብዙ ጊዜ wedding የሚጠራበት አሁን on the first floor design የሚደረገው so when you could not have attended ባለፈው
የት ነው
it was our friend's brother's wedding venue የነበረበት
oh Washington
yeah እሱና እዛ area a lot of people recommend it for weddings and the last I heard the person that actually paid for the wedding 2.5 million ያወጣችበት for that whole area ማለት ነው the wedding the decoration the flowers ምናምን ተጨማምሮ ነው without the dress without the dresses and what our expectations for a wedding are ብንነጋገርበት ደስ ይለኛል how much are you willing to spend on your wedding
none
በቀደመ እንጫወት because the silence is
I feel like just focus on what you can afford I think that's important to do so and the cheapest possible way to go about it I think is utilizing the people you already have in your circle like somebody can do makeup somebody can do hair somebody can do tailoring somebody knows a tailor that's cheap ወዘተረፈ just figure out ባለሽ በአቨኒዎች በሙሉ the cheapest possible way to do it ቢሞከር የተሻለ ይመስለኛል there are places by the way በጣም inexpensive የሆነ wedding throw ማድረግ የምትችይባቸው ቦታዎች አሉ በፕሌት 200 ምናምን ብር ለአንድ ሰው ምግብ ቡፌ በስነ ስርዓት ቀርቦ
where
I don't know አሁን ስንት ብር እንደሆነ ግን at a certain point ባልደራስ በሱ ነበር የሚሰራው
okay
you know that place
yes
አሁን let's assume እጥፍ አድጓል ብለን 500 ገብቷል ብለን there are places that things could be inexpensive for you ግን I think ያው የፉክክር ዓለም ናት ኢትዮጵያውያን ደግሞ ከሰው አንሶ መገኘት አንፈልግም ስለዚህ ችግር ነው እሷ ፓርት ግን ከርብ ከተደረገች የኔ የሚለውን ነገር ጭንቅላትሽ በትክክል ማስረዳት ከቻልሽ you would win at this ግን ያው people coming together families coming together it's never easy to make አንቺ ያሰብሽውን ነገር into reality without problems ለማምጣት it's going to be tough
naturally ወንዶች ታስቡበታላችሁ
እኔ ስለ ሰርጉ ሳስብ የኔ ማቆ ራሱ ሰው ምጠራው like ራቅ ያላለ ክሎዝ ብዬ ማስበው ራሱ በጣም ብዙ ነው yes it's too many
virtual wedding ብናረግስ
እሱ አሪፍ ሐሳብ ነው so ምናልባት ዴስቲኔሽን ታረጊና ዙም ሊንክ ትልኪያለሽ so ዴስቲኔሽን ላይ
attend my wedding ብለሽ
well ደስ የሚል ነገር እኮ ኖርማሊ ሰዎች ጥሩ ጸባይ የለውም ብለው ስላንተ ማሰባቸው እዚህ ጋር ነው ጥቅሙ ወይ አግብቻለሁ ግን መጥራት አልፈለኩም ነበር ማለት ይችላል
or entrance fee ያለው
oh yes I like that ገጠር by the way እናቴ ሀገር እንደዛ አለ ትከፍያለሽ ለምትበይበት it doesn't matter ያለሽን ነው የምትከፊው so እንዳልኩሽ ኢትዮጵያውያን የፍክክር ሰዎች ነን so if somebody is giving 100 ብር 50 ብር 100 ብር 50 ብር እየተሰጠ ከሆነ ያ የተቸገረም ቢሆን 50 ብሯን ያውጣታል ገባ 10 ብር ደግሞ ሁሉም ሰው እየሰጠ ከሆነ 10 ብር ይሰጣል ግን they try to help out with the wedding አረቄ ያመጣሉ ዳቦ ያመጣሉ why would I get married in Addis Ababa
I know I get
yes
that
nursing
ሰላሌ
can I join you by the way like
yes destination wedding ያሰቡት ለዛ ነው
ኪሎሜትር ነው
ያ በጣም ቅርብ ነው
it's not that far
it's like ከኛ ቤት አያቴ ቤት እስከምትገቢ takes 3 hours
እኔ ግን in general ማለት ነው ሰርግ ጠርቼ probably ከዛ ሰርግ በኋላ ማላገኛቸው ሰዎች የማአት አሉ እዛ እንትን ላይ እሱን ኖርሌ አውጥቼ ቅድም እንዳልሽው it's so tiresome ደግሞ ሲሆን ይሄ የሚጋቡት ባልና ሚስቱ ላይ ብቻ አይደል ሳይሆን የቅርብ የምትያቸው ቤተሰቦች እንዳለ ጠብር ግፍ ነው የሚሉት ኢንጆይ የሚያደርጉት አይመስለኝም honestly እኔ የተወሰነ ሰዓት ኢንጆይ ለሚያደርጉት ያ ሁሉ ኢፈርት ማውጣት አለባቸው ብዬ እኔ አላስብም
እሱን ነው ቀደም ልላቸው የነበረው ኤክስፔንሲቭ ሰርጎች ያሉ ስለ በገንዘብ ብቻም ሳይሆን በጊዜም ነው አሁን ለምሳሌ ራስ ሆቴልም አንድ ኦፕሽን ነው it's not cheap and the venue is not big ግን like you can call everybody like that is near and dear to you. Near and dear and I know like not near, not dear, near and dear. Okay. He's like I love my miss him ለሰርግ ይምጡ የለም like they have to be present የምትያቸውን ሰዎች ብቻ ጠርተሽ በፕሌት ነው መከፊው ከዛ በኋላ nobody does anything እዛ ሆቴል ሩም ይሰጥሻል ሜካፕ አርቲስት ተጠራያለሽ ከጠራሽ ነው እሱ ነው ፊትሽን ታጥበሽን መምጣት ትችላለሽ አያጣላ you wear your dresses ከዛ ታች ትወርጃለሽ እንግዶችሽ እንዳለ ተዘጋጅተዋል ምግቡ ተዘጋጅቶ ይጠብቅሻል እናትሽ አክስትሽ አያትሽ ምናምን በዚህ መልፋት አይጠበቅባቸውም of course እነዚህ expensive weddingዎችም እንደዛ ናቸው ግን ያቺኛዋን አላ the sweet spot where it's not killing you economically but it's also keeping your family happy አይደል እሷን ነገር achieve ማድረግ ምንችልባቸው ብዙ ቦታዎች አሉ ብዬ አስባለሁ you don't ቦሌ is murder to your economy
definitely murder
ያየ ነበራ ከአውር dear friend ጋር ወደ prices
አይ ከዛ በፊትም the wedding industry በቃ it's not for our የኛ ኢኮኖሚ or inflationን ፊል ያረጋላለው ህብረተሰብ wedding in Bole area it's not
where would you have yours
አዋሳ
makes sense ግን which season
ማለት which season
because like it can be very hot or it could be very wet
for 2 days እንመርጣለን እንጂ እኔ honestly it's a must ተብሎ ካልተደረገ በስተቀር እኔ ሞዳቸውን ሰዎች every week family night ብዬ ዲነር ብጣርቼ ባበላቸው
አግብቻለሁ ስለዚህ like dinners that will kill you
I would rather have that
intimate የሆኑ ዲነሮች ነው okay
am I the only one that thinks about the honeymoon instead of the wedding why would I rather go ሚለው ነገር
wedding ሳይኖር honeymoon መኖር ይቻላል የሚል ነገሩን ሴትል እናርግ wedding ሳይኖር honeymoon
oh that would be great
bless your hearts
that would be great
where would you want to go
honestly I've never really thought about the details I just want good view and swimming pool ብቻ ነው ማስበው when I think of the perfect honeymoon location
good view swimming pool I can think of a few places ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ ወይስ ውጪ
whichever one
እናስብልሻለን
አንተ honeymoon አሳብ የለህም
አይ honeymoon ቢኖርኝ ነው የሚሻለኝ እኔ ሰርግ ከሚኖርኝ ነው እኮ ዋናው አላማ እንደዛ ነው ግን out of ኢትዮጵያ ቢሆን ደስ ይለኛል
honeymoon
ለምን አሁን
staycation
ቤት ውስጥ
it's like I'm not going to leave the house for weeks
I know
is the plan
have you TikTok ላይ አይተሻል the topics you have to discuss before getting married የሚባለው
no
you haven't seen it either Antam
my TikTok FYP basketball እግር ኳስ
I don't even know why I expected different አላሽም
really
it's አንደኛ finances ነው ሁለተኛ religion ነው ሶስተኛ kids ነው and how they should be raised punishment ምንድነው ላንተ ለኔ አራተኛ family members and how close to be with them and አምስተኛ is what do you consider cheating and sexuality እንዴት ነው express መደረግ ያለበት how often or how small do you want it so አምስቱ before marriage discuss መደረግ አለበት because until you figure
can
that
add
out
more
of course
mental health history የfamily health history
so I'm hoping
three
dates
stages.
ተደረጉ ታውቁታላችሁ
how እናቴና ሞት ነበር ሲል ለጣይቅ ቲና ዶክተር ምንድነው ያለባት እንካ
and don't you have a discussion about what have you been through in life like
for how long ነው እንደ ዴት ማድረግ ያለብሽ ከማግባትሽ በፊት ብለሽ ምታስብ
አገባለሁ ወይ ነው የመጀመሪያው ጥያቄ ግን like I feel like for people who really want to get married but want to move through the things fast these things could help so I'm assuming it should be health history should be included it's not even just health history ለምን ፈለኩ ልንገርሽ አሁን ለምሳሌ sure the person I'm dating might not have like openly overlying የሆኑ ፕሮብለሞች ላይኖሩት ይችላሉ ግን down the line ሊመጣ የሚችል ነገር አለ አያት ቅድማት ብቻ ታሞ የተዘለለ ነገር ሊኖር ይችላል or like you'll never know in a conversation if a person is like oh my grandma ይሄ ነበር የተፈጠረው ምናምን ለማለት it might take a while ወይም በህይወት የሌለ ሰው በየቀኑ ማያዩት ሰው ካልሆነ በቀር ላይወራልሽ ይችላል no I think that worries me and also like I don't want to especially women to go through fertility conversations I like multiple agotaxtu so yaloladu ሰዎች እያሉ going home and having these conversations with her yes it's going to be an issue and I feel like these things should be openly discussed and prodded መጀመሪያ ላይ ማለት ምች አትሌት ፉት አለብኝ ሲልሽ ማለት እንድቺ I feel like they need to be openly discussed and ሐኪም ቤት መሄድ የማይወድ ሰው ላይ ደግሞ አይጣልሽ
ለምን
they will just be in pain home kaza bala like you can't help them they can't help themselves you're just losing your mind zaga so እነዚህ ነገሮች በሙሉ መታወቅ አለባቸው እየስላሰብኩ ነው
ደግሞ mental health ይጋባል እሱም it's a huge issue and I think በተለኛ generation ላይ it's a very very thing to find somebody who's actually mentally healthy at least
has that ever existed
I pray because like now እንደዛ ከሆነ እኮ ጨዋታው which mental health do you prefer ነው ማለት ነው
that's what I'm assuming is happening no
so now I understand why you're like questioning if I want to get married የሚለው ነገር in question የሚቀመጠው
it's not even in question usually I'm adverse to it until like የሆነ ፍቅር ሲይዘኝ ምናምን አሽከብተኝ I might marry this person አስር ቀን በኋላ no thank Jesus
when the mental illness hits you no
አይ አይደለም ትንሽ ተተነፍሽ የለ there's like affection ይሰጥሽና ብርቅ ይሆንብሽና ትንሽ ይዞርብሽና ምናምን ደስ ይላል ከዛ በኋላ አረፈስቲ በቤቱ ለቀን ስትይ
I am so glad we don't have Las Vegas Ethiopia or a place where you could run and get married
Vegas is
Jesus nobody would survive
nobody like
no none of us would survive
ግን እኮ እሱም አላቆመንም ዩቲዩብ አታይም መሰለኝ
no አላቆመንም
ኮንተንታችን እኮ በጣም ጥግዬ ነካ
common law marriage እኮ አለ
ፍለጋ ይመስለኛል አንዳንድ
አስረገዝኳት ቤተሰቦቿ ሲሉኝ ብሎ አይተዋል እሱ
what
ቤተሰቦቿ አፕሩቭ አናረግም ሲሉት አስረገዝኳት አለ
okay so እሱም አለ
yeah
again like
fun stuff
it really isn't just him the past generation እኮ almost
ዋናው እንትናቸው
አላማቸው እሱ ነው አስረገዝኳት ከዛ አላገባዋት
ከዛ she keeps making babies I think I don't like her
I think
there's no joke there ሲጀመር እኮ በcommon law marriage ብለሽ ስታስቢ a lot of us have been married already ብለሽ ስታስቢ ትችላለሽ because if you live with somebody for more than 3 months without any nights apart it's considered marriage ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ
ደስ የሚልሽ ነገር we don't qualify
I know we ስለሽ like society ስታስቢ ግን we know a lot of people that have lived together
yes
and
yes we're glad they have no properties ናቸው I'm sure ለcommon law marriage conversation የሚያመጡት
properties ባይኖርሽ ራሱ ልጅሽ ብለሽ ስታስቢ if we have a child together without actually legally getting married common law marriage እስካለሽ ድረስ in consideration ይገባል
I mean አሁንም ትንሽ ዳርክ የሆነ ነገር ልናገር ነው I guess ግን like what are the like you when you have a child you know which parents want the kids like it's not always the mother I understand ግን you know which parent it is ልጅ ይወልዱና ግልጽ ነው በቃ ኮመንዶም በሆነ ተጋብተውም ሆነ you know based on how they interact with the child one parent is more careful than the other የሚለው ነገር ስታይ okay this person is not interested in the child
ግን most of
አጣላ
law ላይ ለእናትየው ነው የሚሰጠው most
of
the time እና like the Vegas እንኳን አልኖረ ብዬ ማስበው እነዚህ አይነት ወሬዎች ስሰማ ነው
I feel አላቆመንም ኢትዮጵያውያን እኮ ባፋችን ብቻ ነው ጨዋዩ ነው
keep saying that a few times
yes because ምን እንደተረዳው ታውቂያለሽ everybody does whatever they want ከዛ they reframe it in a way that is acceptable for other people እኔ እንደዚህ አላረግም ስማም ይልሻል ከዛ like but the rules still is like no ይልሽ እኔ individual ነኝ እንደዚህ አላረግም በቃ ይሄ ለኔ ተቀባይነት okay I guess this person has a strong opinion about this ብለሽ ትዘየዋለሽ you meet another person and then they would tell you on ኮስተር ያለ ብለ like ለሶሳይቲው ክራይም የሆነ ነገር accepted እንደሆነና ልክ እንደሆነ ይነግራል you're there like excuse me sir that's not no እኔ ኢንዲቪጁዋል ነኝ እኔ እንደ ኢንዲቪጁዋል እንዴ ነው ማሰበው ሰው እንደፈለገ ማሰብ ይችላል እኔ ግን እንዴ ነው ማሰበው ይችላል just on that particular topic ነው ሌላ ቶፒክ ላይ ምንም አይሏችሁ ፑሽባክ የለም እንደን ማንኛውም ኢትዮጵያ ይቀጥላሉ ልክ ግን የነሱ የማይስማሙባት ወይም ደግሞ እነሱ ነው ያፈነገጡባት ሞመንት ግን
የራሳቸው ወይ ነው
እና after going through that multiple times especially with older gentlemen being older gentlemen or like people who ጉቦ የሚጠይቁ ሰዎች openly or like whatever it is no እሱ ሳይሰራ እንደ ቢዝነስ ይሰራል ይላል or like ሰው ተዳሩን ታዲያ እንዴት ነው የሚቀጥለው ሳይማግጥ ይላል you're there like excuse me sir
I know
or like you would see a lot of men abandoning their children their ምናምን ወንድ እኮ ነኝ ምን ላርጋት ጡታላ ታባው ልጁን ይላል የ7 አመት ልጅ ጥሎ you're there like everybody does whatever they want they just say things and once እቺ ነገር ከተገለጠልሽ በኋላ ትንሽ ነጻም ያወጣል ነው ወይ ለራስሽ በዛው ልክ ደግሞ ከሰው ጋር ያለሽንም ሪሌሽንሺፕ እንዴት ነው okay these are the lines I'm willing to cross these are not የሚለውን ለመግለጽ ይረዳል
what would be the lines you would consider you're getting married to a complete stranger of my choosing what would be
you choose for her no
what would be the boundaries I have to keep like hey ነገር ካለው there's no way I would see a future with him
okay
by the way አስበበት ሁለተኛ አንተ ነህ
parents
live
parents who are alive that's going to be an issue joking jokes aside so somebody who has not lived with a large family like only childs are not a thing no never somebody who has not failed at something at least once somebody who does not know how to take care of themselves like የራሳቸው environment ውስጥ like cooking cleaning included ማለት ነው he can't take care of himself it's done we're not having conversations so he has to know how to handle himself in a large family he has to know how to take care of himself and he has to know how to pick up himself when problems arise these things should be included yeah the health and the financial statements must be prepared
so at least 50-50 no or somebody that's willing to
it doesn't matter ጭንቅላቱ 50-50 እንዲያስብ ሳይሆን አሁን ለምሳሌ when it comes to people who have existed in big families ምናምን እና failure and experience ያደረገ ሰው ማለት ነው their understanding of the future I assume በኔ ቤት ማለት ነው their understanding of the future maybe like okay ዛሬ ቢኖረኝ ነገ ላይኖረኝ ይችላል የሚለውን ይረዳል ብዬ አስባለሁ or ዛሬ ባይኖራት ነገ ሊኖራት ይችላል የሚለውን understand ያደርጋል ብዬ ስለማስብ ነው እነዚህን choices የመረጥኩት so hopefully he understands money የሚንቀሳቀስ ነገር ነው just because I don't have it now it doesn't mean I won't have it in the future or just because I have it now it doesn't mean I will maintain it forever if he's that materialistic and obsessed ይከብዳል
okay ባንዴ አንተስ
እኔ ሩትን ካላመጣሽ
I really want to interview her ሳውራ ነበር ከሱ ጋር before you came and I really want to interview this girl and
she's fun
we would love to have you both እዚህ ጋር
ግን ያው ለኔ ሪሊጅን ዋነኛ እንትን ነው ብዬ ነው ማስበው considering በሪሊጅን መንገድ ነው ማግባት የምፈልገው so I cannot marry
any other religion okay
but I agree to his point
the same religion aren't you
the same outlook towards religion
okay yeah that's bound to be interesting
that's the point I don't want to be bored
emphasis on that point I think for a lot of people issue የሚሆነው እሱ ነው
pretty much ከዛ ኢንካም ጀነሬት የምታደርግ መሆን አለባት ብዬ ነው ማስበው in this day and age I don't think single income household survive ያደርጋል ወይም ደግሞ to the sustainable ደረጃ living standard ይኖራል ብዬ አላስብም ደስታቸውም የተገደበ ይሆናል ብዬ ነው ማስበው
ልክ ነህ ድህነት ሰው ያፋቅር ልጅ ይፈጥራል money
does bring you happiness I think I agree with that እና ለዛ ግን እኔ ብቻ ወይም እሷ ብቻ so in general if one of us our income is sufficient enough I don't mind ከዚህ በፊትም ከጓደኞቼ ጋር ሳወራ የነበረው ነው if she brings enough money I don't have a problem with staying at home playing with my kids all day እሱ ችግር የለብኝም ነው
I have a pushback on that በኋላ ስጨርስ እንመጣለን
ከዛ ግን ካልሆነ ሁለታችንም መስራት ይኖርብናል እና ኢንካም ጀነሬት አድርገን ቤተሰባችንን ማስተዳደር የምንችልበት ገንዘብ ያስፈልጋል እዛ መስጥብዬ ነው ማስበው እንጂ ወንዱን ወይም እኔን እየጠበቀች የምትመጣ መሆን የለባትም ብዬ ነው ማስበው
ኦኬ my pushback ምን እንደሆነ ልንገርሽ ጊዜ ያለው ሰው ነገረኛ ነው
እሺ
የፈለገ የተመቸ ላይፍ ብትኖር ጊዜ ካለ ነገር ትፈልጋለህ I think የስራም አንዱ በጣም ጥቅሙ ምን መሰለ ሁለቱም ሰዎች ሲሰሩ የመነፋፈቂያ ጊዜ የጋራ ፕላናቸውን የሚወራ ነገር other than like what you're doing what you're not doing what you're thinking what you're not thinking what I can see what I cannot see ከሚለው ውጪ ወሬ አለን ዛሬ ቢሮ እንደዚህ ተፈጠረ ዛሬ እንደዚህ ሰራው ይሄን ኢንካም ጀነሬት ማድረግ የምችልበት አዲስ መንገድ አግኝቻለሁ what do you think እነዚህ ኮንቨርሴሽኖች የሚመጡት I think ሁለቱም ሰዎች ሲሰሩ ነው እና my understanding of things ጊዜ ያለው ሰው ነገረኛ ነው
ነገረኛ ነው ያልሽኝ ነው አሁን
ሆናለህ ነው አሁን ጥሩ ስለሆንክ ያሰብክ ያለኸው
ጊዜ ያለኝ ብዙ ነው አሁን
ያ ብሬክ ላይ ነህ እኮ አየህ ነገረኛ አድርጎሃል አየህ አይደል how you spoke to me
እስካሁን አልነበርኩም since you're pushing the points
it's tough to be right አንዳንድ ጊዜ
it's harder to be green ነው ከዚህ ፖይንት ዋላ
so I think the working is just not about the money but also like the perspectives you can bring into your own household and the understanding of the world it can provide የቢሮ ዋና ኮንቨርሴሽን ምን እንደሆነ ታውቂያለሽ between wives like people who have their own household ሰራተኛ ማማት ከባልሽ ጋር ስለ ሰራተኛ ማውራት ስለማቺ you have to take it to work and you have to go to your work ሰራተኛ ልጅ እንደዚህ አርጋ እንደዚህ ተንፍሳ ምናምን or like ስለ ሴክሹዋል ኮንሰርኖችሽ ከባልሽ ጋር መነጋገር ማቺው ነገር የሆነ practice launch የምታረጊበት ቦታ ታገኛለሽ or like some exciting new thing introduced ተደረጊበታለሽ being outside in the world as an extrovert ለኔ is exciting ስለዚህ like having a job having something to go look forward to having even if you don't have a drive ወደ ላይ ከፍ የሚያደርግ አንድ ነገር ማግኘት ደስ የሚል ይመስለኛል
ስለዚህ ስራ ያለው ሰው አንቺም the same boundary ነው ያለሽ ማለት ነው ስራ
ራሱን take care ማድረግ ሰው ስል I think all encompassing term
it's just a very delicate term ሆነ because a lot of people work from home now so work ሲባል it may not have the criteria you're looking for
working from home እሱም ደስ ይላል ለምን እንደሆነ ልንገርሽ I don't have the discipline for it do you think you have the discipline for like sitting there for like more than 8 hours ነው አንዳንዶቹ የሚያሰሩት because commuting hours ስለሚቀነስ እና I don't have it in me and it's like if I know I can sleep in I will sleep if I can get away with chipping away 10-20 minutes I will try it I will literally try it like 9 ተኩል ላይ ማቆም እፈልጋለሁ 11 ሰዓት ማለቅ ያለበት
የሚሆን ነው የሚመስለኝ working from home
ግን like working from home እኮ it requires again extrovert I like people I need to be outside touch grass ነው ያሉት
gossip ያለሽ
yes it bonds me with people I like it I take interest in people so it's hard for me to stare at a screen for a long time or like a certain redundant task ላይ focus ለማድረግ ትንሽ ይከብደኛል so something I wouldn't do somebody else ያረጋው ማለት I think it's respectable especially with the amount of money he can pull በዚህ ጊዜና ዘም አጨብጭቤ ቡና እንዲ ያልኩ ያፈላው ታገኝኝ the thing I'm saying is ከኔ ሌላ ፎከስ የሚያረግበት ነገር መኖሩ ወይም ደግሞ እኔ ከሱ ሌላ ፎከስ የማረግበት ነገር መኖሩ I think is very important for us to come back together and have something to say have something to do together time more valuable ያረጋል
entertainment
ለምሳሌ basketball
movies
እሱ እንዳለ movies sports እንደዛ አይነት ነገሮች shows
Depends if I like his taste or if he likes mine.
So I have a question for you. There is this study that says when you date somebody thinking you're going to marry them, you're more likely to take more than when you're dating them just for the sake of dating them and liking them as an individual. What do you guys think about it?
Come again?
Okay,
when you date for a goal, goal is more important than the things they're doing right or wrong. So you're more likely to take
compromise your limits and boundaries.
When you're dating for the sake of enjoying a person, however, a lot of will come and then they will become less enjoyable because and therefore you'll get rid of them faster.
I see. እኔ ዴታ ማረገው ከበፊት የነበረው ለማግባት ነው። the enjoyment
so what's your discerning quality? Like, okay, this girl
ሚስት የምትልበት
ይቅርታ ከሩት ውጪ የሚሰራስ
this root
እውነት ነው።
So how do you discern between, okay, she knows in quality I'm going to keep them, እነዚህ quality eventually in the relationship ስለሚጠፉ I don't mind postponing my breakup until she changes this ምናምን የምትለው part የለም? You don't find yourself compromising more than you should?
Compromise የሚደረጉ ነገሮች for sure ይኖራሉ። it's not እንትን አሁን for example በጣም outgoing የሆንኩ ሰው ነበርኩ እና outgoing ስልሽ everywhere ነበርኩኝ. You can find me like events, it could be road track events, it could be የሆነ ከጓደኞቼ ጋር ተሰብስቦ ምናምን አሁን I don't do that ድሮ በማረገበት እንትን because አብሬያት ሆነበት. So those kind of things I'll compromise በኔ ሳይድ ማለት ነው። እሷም ደግሞ compromise የምታረጋቸው ነገሮች ይኖራሉ። So as you go together ሁለታችሁም comfortable የሚያደርጋት ነገር ምንድነው እየተባባላችሁ compromise የምታረጉት እንዳልሹ ኢንድ ጎላችሁ ተመሳሳይ ሲሆን marriage የሚለው ነገር ሲሆን ነው እንጂ and I to this day I still enjoy having time with her. And for the sake of having enjoyment with that person only without having a goal behind that ምናልባት ኮምፕሮማይዝ የማድረግ እድልሽ ዝቅተኛ ይሆናል ብዬ ነው የማስበው። because በቃ የሆነ የምታዩ ፊውቸር ጥግ ድረስ ከሌለልሽ it's just momentary having fun, you're having fun with that person. ከዛ why is that person pushing your boundaries or why you lessen your red lines just because that person don't like it? So true ነው ብዬ ነው የማስበው እሱ።
So
I've said it before, Connie. I think for people who want to get married, to date with marriage in goal is disadvantageous.
To date? Okay.
With marriage in goal is disadvantageous. Date a variety of people and understand where you could enjoy also and at the same time see a good ending with a person. ከዛ በኋላ bring the marriage conversation in there ነው ብዬ ማስበው. If you think of marriage as a long-lasting thing. If it's the first thing is I want to get married and therefore I must find a person ከሆነ I think it's almost you will look and sound crazy trying to mold a person that's not that imaginationaችሁ ውስጥ ያለውን ሰው ለመፍጠር it will drive you crazy because I think the order is wrong here.
በኦርደሩ ግን ስታነሹ የነበረው I want to get married so I need to find the person ሳይሆን when you find the person, no, I want to marry her.
That's what I mean. Like, I think the study, I think the thing they said is the other way around now. I want to get married. Let's find a person. የሚለው type of dating ነው መጀመሪያ ያነሱት. So the person የፈለገውን ነገር ቢሰራ as long as the delusion we have is intact, በዛ እንቀጥላለን. And I think it's very disadvantageous to the individual to do that.
ደግሞ እኛ ሶሳይቲ ውስጥ ብዙ ጊዜ እናየዋለን እንጂ ሳገባው ይለወጣል፣ ስወልድላት ይለወጣል፣ ሳገባት ተስተካከላለች፣ ስትጋባ ተስተካከላለች፣
ስትወልድ ተስተካከላለች.
Exactly.
ስትወልድ is an insane assumption.
It's a desperate move.
I know women who've left children on men and now ስትወልድ ተስተካከለች has never been funnier.
እሱ ነው የምልሽ. So በእኛ ሶሳይቲ the other way around ነው most of the time work የሚያደርገው. Okay, now my ሲጀመር to get married, finances should a point so a lot of us are focused on that point. So by the time you get to that financial stage where you can afford to get married, all you're thinking about is, now I can get married, let's get to it with the same energy.
career.
Exactly. So you find somebody, and if their ideas are to get married as well, you tend to neglect everything about them that you don't like. Like, okay, he drinks, I can fix him. He has a lot of girls around him that don't act like friends. Sure, eventually ሲያገባኝ ይለወጣል ና consistently my
competition ውስጥ ተገቢያለሽ እንጂ እንደውም እኔ ያገባዋለሁ እሷ እያየችኝ
the funniest part ምን እንደሆነ ልንገርሽ the funniest part
I know what switch actually
that's serious. Them a lot of women make them mistake time and time again throughout the generations again. I know, it's just I remembered, it's just generational ነገሩ ብቻ አንድ ላይ ታስቀምጩና and then you realize some girls actually actively look for this type of guys so that they feel like they want, and then even cheat ሲያረግም they decide in their heads
ነው ሴቶቹ
አንደኛ
እንጂ ሰርፎ ተቀምጠው ነበር.
There are girls who still like him, so I've won now. Bruh. Yeah.
Bruh. And she doesn't say bruh, by the way. ከኛ ጋር ውላ ማለት ነው ብሮ ስንላት ተዳናለች ሳይዳይ
በጣም ያስፈልጓል at intense delusion እና በጣም ስለሚገርመኝ ነው እሱ perspective time and time again መምጣቱ.
I think a lot of people make the mistake of wanting to be approved of instead of thinking I should approve of some things. And የሰው approval seek በማድረግ I think status quo የበለጠ ማየት ትጀምራለሽ instead of what you actually want and need. So what happens is the most popular person or the most rich person or the most attractive ብለን የምናስባቸው ሰዎች affect us more than the person that's the most fitting to us or the person that is more in tune with what we want, what we need life actually. And now I think that gets away from a lot of people. I don't think it's a female thing
It isn't. It really isn't.
There are, you can see a lot of competition in male friendships as well, especially with the socioeconomic status. And like you would have a cool nice friend that was funny ምናምን ከዛ ገንዘብ ያገኝና እንዲዞር ያናግራል እና you're there like what are you doing? Or like every time he has women around ምናምን he tries to put other people in the friend group down. A lot of these things ምንድነው የምንፈልጋቸውን ነገሮች ቀድመን clarify ካለማድረግ ነው ከራሳችን ጋር. I think when you say this is what I want, this is what I'm capable of, this is the thing that will give me the most enjoyment, at the same time some achievement in my life ብለሽ የሆኑ ነገሮችን መለየት ካልቻልሽ what happens is ሰው ማየት ትጀምራለሽ የሚያብለጨልጭ ነገር attractive ይሆናል ያና every time ያንቺ የላይፍ ሜትሪክ ምንድነው ገሌ ነው የጎረቤት ልጅ ተብለን እናድጋለን እኛም አድገን የጎረቤት ልጅ ማየት እንጀምራለን ማለት ነውና I think these issues የአንድ ሰው የአንድ generation የሁለት generation ብቻ አይመስለኝም. I think the individual himself herself አስበው okay these are what I want, these things would better my life, this type of person would be the most fitting to me, or like try it out type ብለን የምናስበውን ሰዎች achieve ማድረግ ምንችላቸው ነገሮች እንደሆኑ ራሱ ማወቅ መቻል አለብን. አሁን ለምሳሌ ልጅ እያለን ሁላችንም ቀሽተ ሰው ተመችቶ ሊሆን ይችላል. He's so pretty, so nice, I wish you'd look my way ብለን ያሰብናቸው ከዛ you get them and you're
no thinking
ከዛ በኋላ you eventually find oh I like funnier people, or I like these types of people, I like more religious የሆነ ሰው, I like a smarter person የሚለውን ነገር እየለየሽ ትሄጃለሽ መቼም ማለት. I think the same thing should progress into your later lives, and it shouldn't stop at a certain place or a certain thing attractive መሆን at a certain point መቆም አለበት. Other than that, if you still በእነዚህ በሚያብለጨልጩ ሲባሉ በሚያምሩ ነገሮች የምንሳብ ከሆነ I think it would persist የሚያደርግ issue ይመስለኛል. Especially the whole አስቸገረችኝ እኮ ነው አልፈልጋትም. It's like here's the thing, a video on TikTok that is seemingly stupid has changed my life. If you felt a vibe, the other person has felt it too. You're not crazy for thinking you're vibing with a person. Cause so like there are times people would make you feel like you're approaching them in a weird way. They would say it, especially with men. No, we're just friends, or I have no plans of going in this.
When everybody knew it.
But I felt the vibe. If I felt the vibe, you felt the vibe. Don't drive me crazy. So like እንደዚህ አይነት ቦታዎች ላይ ስትሄድ አስቸገረችኝ or እንደዚህ ያደረገችኝ ሲባል አሁን it doesn't make sense to me ምክንያቱም ዝም ብላች ልጅ እየዋጠጠች አትመጣም ድመት አይደለች ሰው ነች ብሬድ ክራም አርጓት እያመጣት ነው ስለዚህ you know
there was this book actually business podcast ላይ ስንሰራ recommend ያደረጉትን book አሁን እያነበብኩት ነው I have it in my bag 0 to 1 የሚለው መጽሐፍ ላይ it explains to you that competition is not to your best interest businessም ላይ ሆነ personal life ላይ but considering you grew up in the capitalist world you're told if there's competition there's value so you assign okay if this many people want it there must be value in it በሚለው ነው የምንሄደው because that's how we were raised and it took me a business book to understand that concept they were talking about something else yes because they explained it in such a beautiful way because we're not the only ones failing at this there are people investing millions in opening a restaurant and an area full of restaurants thinking competition slalebet there's possibly a chance that I would outgrow it because yene sos leyetalish sos not ayate serrachat ስለሆነች no sir ሁላችሁም አንድ ላይ እየወደቃችሁ ነው because you're demanding a competition mindset እዛ መሃል if you were the person selling the equipment or assets that other people need to actually survive the restaurant business you would succeed much easier than opening another restaurant where there's a couple others
true
yeah but just on sanabaw was not a pleasant discovery alashishim I felt cold out again like sure ግን like ያደግንበትም ስለሆነ ነው
ሱማ
ያደግንበት
ዳቦ ቤት እንትን
ሽሮ ሜዳ ነው ያደግኩት you know what I experienced tell me what I experienced
grocery
oh what is it now that is actually funny
no I'm like
at this point I'm like ልብሶቹን አይተን መለየት እንችላለን oh this is going to be expensive this is going to be like expensive looking but not expensive this is going to be very easy to get made ምናምን ሁላችን እዛ ሰፈር ያደግን ሰዎች ስናልፍ don't get that one እንላለን or like we'll take you to a place where ሶስት ቦታ ሄደን የዚህን አንድ ሶስተኛ ፕራይስ የምናገኝበት ዘዴ ታውቂያለሽ ለምን like suffocate አድርገውናል ሰዎች እና I can't believe it took you the business book though.
No, Sahun, it's a fascinating thing. After the management degree and being addicted to the idea of being a manager, you read a lot of books and then you understand, my God, life and business are the exact same thing. The only difference is you get paid when you're a manager. That's it. But life case demo, you get punished if you don't learn the lessons. So one way or another, either you get punishment or you get paid. You need to understand where you stand in life now. And now consistently every time I try to improve my skills is you need to understand you're going to have to evolve and change through your environment to get to the point where you want to be. Society እየሰማሽ በቀጠልሽ ቁጥር you're going to keep bumping into a wall that never crashes because the reality of what they're taught is not really something they have understood and analyzed most of the time. Because self-awareness yasfeligishal to understand, okay, I am wrong. Okay, I opened another lipsbait surrounded by lipsbaitors because I thought my design was different because my cousin is a designer. ይህንን አንደርስታንድ ግን የምታደርጊው self-reflection without pride ሲኖርሽ ነው ገብቶሻል ፕራይድሽን እዚህ ጋር አስቀምጠሻት ኦኬ እሺ I'm wrong የሚለው ነገር አክሰፕት ማድረግ ስቺ ነው ካላረግሽው ግን the idea that you failed would hurt you more than the idea of spending millions and trying to succeed.
Yes.
So self-awareness and ignoring your pride is a necessity when it comes to self-improvement that a lot of people consider as a luxury. ኩራተኛም ሆኜ I can succeed አይሰራም and sadly አይሰራም because you need to be aware that the people that don't know much እንዳንቺ ዲግሪ የሌላቸው እንዳንቺ 12ኛ ክፍል ያልጨረሱ know something that you don't and
definitely
know a lot more than you don't እና አሜን ብለሽ የነሱን ነገር ካላዳመጥሽ ግን if you have pride it will never let you ገብቶሻል if you have pride you will always think that person that designer
ይሄ ድንጋይ ራስ ከኔ በታች እኮ ነው ለምንድን ነው የማይገባው a lot of bosses that have come to ranks in the past few years 10-20 years usually it's not about education it hasn't been about education and that reflects badly on our country and a lot of these things trickle down አድርገው ሌላዎች ቢዝነሶችንም አፌክት ያደርጋሉ now like you would get hired the same expertise ይኖርሃል hire ካረገ ሰውዬ ጋር ከዛ በኋላ ካንተ ጋር ውድድር ውስጥ ይገባል ሰውዬው sir this is yours what I'm doing is
yeah exactly that your pride እኮ በተለይ የኛ ሀገርን you know what I want to live
what has been your experience working and like considering yenya I think the initial background ሁላችንም የነበረን ወደ አሁን በመንሰራበት አይደለም so how did you end up like አሁን ያ ወዳለበት stream እንዴት ገባ
okay I love the process
you love the process ደስ ይላል
ያ ሁላችንም የተገናኘበት እንግዲህ ያ hell hole
you can call the place it's fine
የሆነ hell hole ውስጥ ነው የተገናኘ ነው
ጸበል ቢረጭ ብዬ ያሰብኩት the only place እሱ ነው like I swear it is truly መንፈስ የሚከብድ ቦታ ነው
and a lot of መንፈሶች አሉ a lot of suicides አሉ that place
actually we're not the leading ግቢ by suicides
ማን ነው
I'll tell you soon እሺ
ለማለፍም ወደዚህ እንደዚህ ያያዩት ለማለፍም ይከብድ ቦታ ነው
everybody graduate ያደረጉት አይደለም የወጡት everybody አንድ አመት የተቀመጠው ሰው ራሱ the same thing ነው የሚነግርሽ
ወደዛ ላይ I don't mind the place ልሳለሙ ሞክሬ አውቃለሁ a few times አይደለም like a lot of intensity is associated with religion for me ስለዚህ like ቤተክርስቲያን ሳይ ያልኩነውና it's like intense feeling ሌላ ቦታ experience ያደረኩት in that particular place ነውና
for sure
አጠገቡ ደግሞ high school ያለ that was also intense
የሚኒሊክ road ላንቺ ብዙ እንትን አለው anyways so ሜካኒካል ምህንድስና ነበር ያጠናሁት ሰው የተማርከው ምንድነው ተስተቴን የተማርኩት ነው ምንም ወጣ ዛሬ መግባት ምንም ሳልፈልገው የመጣ ነገር አይደለም ብዙ ሰው እንደውም ሳይፈልገው አዲስ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ከደረሰ አዲስ ዩኒቨርሲቲ እንኳን ብዙ ሰው ይፈልጋል ኢንጂነሪንግ መግባት ከዛ ሜካኒካል ኢንጂነሪንግ መግባት ብዙ ሰው ዲዛይር የሚያደርገው ነገር አልነበረም I have the opportunity መትመርጠውን ምረጥ ተብዬ ፕሪ ኢንጂነሪንግ ላይ because አዲስ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ወክለን አዳማ ላይ ቅርጫት ኳስ ተጫውተን ዋንጫ አምጥተን ስንመለስ ኦሬዲ ዲፓርትመንት ተመርጧልና ፕሬዚዳንቱ ጋር ሄደን ምናምን ያስመረጥነውና የምትፈልገው ምንድነው ሜካኒካል you have no problem ሜካኒካል ግሬድም ያስገባል መጀመሪያም ችግር አልነበረው ግባ ተብዬ ነው የገባው so I wanted it ከድሮ ጀምሮ የምፈልገው ነገር ነበር ግን the experience and the expectation clash ያደረጉና was not what I expected ከዛ የራሴም laziness ተጨመረበት because የምፈልገው ነገር እያገኘሁት ስላልነበረ እኔም I don't put effort in it extracurricular activities basketball friends ምናምን ነበረ my priority than this እንትን so come third year at the end of third year I was suspended for a year
I remember
so to this day level one of the best years of my life was that suspension year to be honest
lemon
the honesty
and I had no expectation nobody was expecting much from me YouTube ላይ ጋሽ ፈልደ ስለሌለ ትከለው እንጂ እሱ ብቻ የማያውቀውና everybody knew so I was okay basketball tournament ክልል ላይ ለመሄድ የትም ጋር ሄዶ ለመጫወት ድሮ ክላስ አለ ፈተና ላይ ነኝ ምናምን እያልኩኝ ሄዚታንት ነበርኩ that time no sign me up I'm going so soon እንሄዳለን ሮትራክት ላይ በጣም አክቲቭ ነበርኩ ፕሬዚዳንት የነበርኩበት አመት ላይ ነው which I achieved a lot I traveled ከኢትዮጵያ የመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ወጣሁት apparently የመጨረሻ ጊዜም ነው ከዛ በኋላ እሺ የወጣሁት ያን አመት ነው and actually የሆነ ኮንፈረንስ ላይ ስራ መስሪያ ቤት ሪፕሬዘንት የምታደርገው መታ ስለ መስሪያ ቤት ስታወራ ኢንተረስቲንግ አልኩኝና ኢንጂነሪንግ ነው ባክግራውንዴ ግን መስራት ፈልጋለሁ አልኩኝ ሹር ሲቪን አምጣሉኝ
የት ነው
ደረጃ
oh yes we've met there as well
yes so ደረጃ ዳይሬክተሯ ነበር ፕሮግራም ዳይሬክተሯ ሲያም ትባላለች የሆነ የወጣቶች ኢቨንት ላይ ምናምን ነበር ስለሱ ስታወራ ኢንተረስትድ ስላት ሲቪን ይዛና ኢንተርቪው እናደርጋለን አለች ተደረኩኝ so ያቺ ሞመንት ባንቴ now you're not mechanical engineering career ሳይሆን የማኔጅመንት people skill የሚጠይቁ ኤሪያዎች ላይ more prosper ማድረግ ትችላለህ የሚለውን ነገር ነው የተረዳውበት so በዛ መስመር join አረኩኝና I started working suspension ማለቀ sadly
ከዛ ገባ
ተመልሼ ገባው because ያው የሀገራችን ሁኔታ needs the paper ብያስቤ ነው I'll be back to that
እሺ
ዲግሪው ያስፈልገኛል ብዬ ስለማስብ ነበር so ተመለስኩኝ ጓደኞቼ ጋር እነሱ my senior I was a junior for them ማለት ነው እንዲ on end of የሆነ process ነበረ I went through that
እሺ
I graduated ይሄ graduate ካረግም ከሰስፔንሽን ከተመለስኩ በኋላም graduate ከማረግ part time እሰራለሁ almost part time ተማሪ እንጂ part time ሰራተኛ እየሆንኩ አልነበረም ሄዳለሁ ግቢ ማራለሁ ፈተናለሁ ግን not much I know I will not be a mechanical engineer
ስለዚህ a certain burden was taken off of you
and actually my grade became better ያለቀ ስለሆነ ይሁን አላቅም or እንዳልሹ burdenም የለብኝም I'm just there to finish it ከዛ ግሬድም ጥሩ ሆነ ተመረኩኝ ስመረቅ ያው fully join አረኩኝ ደረጃን ትሬኒንግ ላይ በጣም ኢንቮልቭድ ሆኜ የሰራው በጣም ኢንጆይ ያረኩት ነበር የምሰራው ከዛ ግን ያው ፓሽን የሚባል ነገር ጋር ናፈቀ ሳይሆን ካናል ፕላስ ወደ ኢትዮጵያ መጣና one of the sport programs የሚያስተላልፉት was ቅርጫት ኳስን ነበርና ቅርጫት ኳስን የሚያይ ሰው ብለው ሰው እየፈለጉ ነበር apparently እኔ የሌሊት ኦፍ ነኝ ትዊተር ላይ የሚያቀኝ ሰው ብዙ ሰው ሌሊት እነሳለሁ ኤምቢኤ ያለው ቢፎር ካናል ፕላስ ኤምቢኤ ያለው ጽፋለው ሙድ ይዛለው በሳጫለው ምናምን ሶ ፒፕል ፎሎ የሚያረጉኝ እና ባስኬትቦል እንደማያውቅ የሚያውቁ ሰዎች ሰጀስት አረጉኝ ሄድኩኝ ቴስት ተደረኩኝ I got it so ሞዶ ቦታ ላይ eventually እንዳፓረኩኝ ማለት ነው and so አሁን nothing related to mechanical engineering ሲቀጥል ግን ቅድም ያልኩሽ ፔፐር የሚለው ነገር ላይ to this day ፔፐር የጠየቀኝ መስሪያ ቤት የለም ፍሪላንስ ሆኜ ብዙ ቦታም ሰርቻለሁ it's not even ሁለቱ ድርጅቶች nobody asked me for my paper
CV ላይ አለኝ ተላቻለ እነሱ አለ ይላሉ በቃ
that's it
surprising I want to ask one more
እሺ
quiz nights with Bante
quiz night ከባንቴ ጋር እሺ
how did it become a thing hamus
it was I think
it's like I know I saw
ኤለን መስክ ብዙ ጉዳቶችን እያመጣብን ነው የሚገኘው ለማንኛውም
so he used to host spaces on Twitter spaces and the podcast ሆኖ good like everybody can join ነገር ነው
your followers will tap
actually
yeah እና እሱ ላይ he would ask us questions we would all lose I don't know who wins these things
there are people the regulars they win it I don't know ኔትወርካቸው እንዴት እንደሆነ አላውቅም
ግን you feel like you're አራት ፊደል ለመጻፍ it's taking me 200 years how am I doing failing at this ያለሽ ይጠይቃል እየጠየቀ መልስ ትልካለሽ somebody has answered before you ከዛ ካርድ ይልክላቸዋል ያሸነፉት ሰዎች ካርድ ያገኛሉ
yes
like you were handing out traumas ማለት ነው
yes
no people and now አሁን ራሱ I have so many assets in my DMs የተሳሳተ መልስ ማይሆን መልስ የመለሱ የማት ናቸውና ለማጋለጥ
ማቴሪያል
አይ እንደዛ አላረግም quiz night terms and regulation
መቼ ነው አሁን እኮ ጭራሽ ሰብስክሪፕሽን መጠየቅ ትችላለህ
well the thing is አሁን ኤለን መስክ ምን አረገ direct message ለመላክ the people need to be subscribed to Twitter
ለምን ቴሌግራም ላይ እንትን አትልም ስፔሱን እየሰሙ ቴሌግራም ላይ መልሱ
it is a way ግን ደግሞ ሁለት አፖች ማጫወት ሊኖርብኝ ነው ማለት ነው በዛ ሰዓት
ምን ስፕሊት ስክሪን አይሰራም
I have an extra monitor
ታማ ሰጣታል already
I'm trying to fight
እስቲ ማስተርስ ጀምሬ ስለነበረ አንደኛው ያቆምኩበት እሱ ነው honestly before this DM እንትን ምናምን
አይ አይደለም you told me about how it's going and like you can do it
አይ በቃ አሁን ጨረስኩ ክላሴን እስቲ good insights by the way telegram እንሞክረዋለሁ
so
shout out ይሰጥሻል አንድ ጥያቄ እንደመለሽ
ወደ ክለብ ሃውስ አልሄድክም
club house is too bougie
is it you've never been on club house
no
same kind of platform ነው እንደ spaces እንደሚባለው you follow each other people room ይባላል when you join the room
I've heard of it a few times
okay
when you join the
I think I liked club house
when you join the different rooms alga ይኖራል አንሶላ አለ
anyways to continue on see what did you imagine your career being like at the beginning of the God-forsaken place
yes
when I'm like you ይቅርታ for what I'm about to say so like both of my parents አየር መንገድ ነበር የሚሰሩት በዛ ሰዓት so I wanted to be the next generation to join that company so አመስኪሎ electrical graduate ታደርጋለሽ and then you join electrical ወይ mechanical ነው
fun fact my dad was ET ነበር የሚሰራው
really
yeah I guess they have an effect
they probably know and so when you see the passion they have for the company you just think it must be a great company now I want to join so my end goal 5 kilos ago was electrical and then I graduate and then Ironman get a gabalo and then I'll be a good wife to somebody I know
5 kilos gabi
yeah my whole plan
before
I had it all planned out. And yeah but that's going to be my life essentially the same life my parents lived except
ሌላ ዘመን ላይ
I had already chosen the pattern and so I got stumble upon ያረጉበት and then 5 kilo ገባው እና self discovery ነው ሂት የሚያደርግሽ 5 kilo ስትገቢ because consistently you're fighting to survive 5 kilo ስትገቢ you're no longer the person that doesn't have to put an effort into classes so consistently who am I and do I really want to be here የሚለው ጥያቄ ራስሽን consistently መጠየቅ አለብሽ whether you like it or not because every day አስተማሪ የሚያጋጥምሽ ፈተና የሚያጋጥምሽ አሳይመንቶቹ the stress of the location itself get you in that mental state where you are consistently doubting why the hell you ended up in that situation and circumstances. So second year what a surgery እየተላለፍን እያለ I decided you know what I'm done here ወደ management ገባሁኝ and I graduated management and I loved it. I loved everything about management because አንደኛ psychology ነው ሁለተኛ it's so diverse ከምታስቢው በላይ diverse ነው ሶስተኛ it's consistently challenging you in so many different ways it's not just maths it's not just science it's everything and now I fell in love with that subject and when I graduated I decided በዛ ሰዓት already I think a year ሰራበት ነበር ጸጉር ቤቱን I took it and decided to manage it and 2 years in ካፌ ከፈትኩኝ and then እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን ሁለቱም they're running well አሁን
you go girl
thank you and then on around 5 years podcastun ከፈትን ከጽጋ and it's a year now some podcast it's going better than we ever expected and majamara we want to thank you all our listeners for showing us that we're capable of this and we are actually very much worth listening to and we're not going to cry so
I don't think we will I don't think we will
speak for yourself
I know I'm trying to help you affirmations
my love language and now that's how it went Lenny personally and for anybody managing an accounting name you question everything no question የምታደርጊው am I capable of this, am I good at negotiating, good at writing contracts, good at accounting, you question everything ገብቶሻል because
ኃላፊነቱ ሲሰጥሽ
because now at least ለኔ the people getting paid have families, the people waiting for my decisions have rent and lives, and if I mess up not just for my life, for everybody's life now. So you realize that as messed up as it is, the resilience you showed on Miss Kilo pushes you to be a very gritty person in what you want. እና ኮንሲስተንትሊ 5 ኪሎ ግራጁዌት ያደረጉትም 5 ኪሎ ያቋረጡትን ሰዎች ላይ የማየው ነገር they have this fight energy because nothing in life after that is one of it's not that self deprecating አይሆንም as much as you went through 5 ኪሎ so you're like, you know what, I've had worse, I could do better ማለት ትጀምሪያለሽ, and that helps you really make the best out of your life ሳታስቢ.
Yes.
So yeah, that was my journey. How was yours?
Yes.
I think I have like the weirdest
የ5 ኪሎ ትሩፋቶች ምናምን የሚል ስም ስጡት.
I will never say ትሩፋት, please.
You just said it though.
It's just an old lady name. I don't like that lady.
How was your journey after?
I don't know. I don't even know how I ended up here, but I'll try and say it. So when I got into 5 kilo, I was severely depressed and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what was happening to me. So I approached it with a lack of passion, a lack of interest. And, I'm not interested with any contact with other people. I was funny. I was, available. You don't openly admit that you're going through things. So the way we were raised, whatever other elements could be said, which for whatever reason I couldn't fully face it. So አንድ ሴሚስተር አለፈ. ከዛ እንትን ተባልን, ምረጡ ተባልን. ከታች ወደ ላይ ነው የሞላሁት. So I wasn't going for something I wanted. I was making sure what I didn't want didn't happen. እዚህ ከታች ወደ ላይ ሜካኒካል ኬሚካል እና እንደዛ ነበር የሞላሁት. So IT ነበር የመጀመሪያ የሞላሁት እና till this day I wish I went into it with more intention because it was a really good program. It really was. And I wasn't interested. አልመጣም ክላስ በጣም ተኛለሁ ስልሽ
far away.
ቤቴ በጣም ሩቅ ነበር ደግሞ ዶርም ትጠይቂያለሽ ትተኛለሽ ነበር for about 2.5 years. ከዛ በኋላ by the beginning of 3 I kind of started appreciating the opportunity that it was, and I was trying a bit. ከዛ በኋላ because I never really wanted any of this, I couldn't quite get what I wanted out of it, so I stopped. Because I had to break the news to my family who did not take it very well. Kaza, from all of this, the struggle I took was I wasn't doing something I wanted. And because it wasn't something I wanted and it wasn't clear to me, I was struggling. And therefore, I must find something I want. Something I want, but I'm tillik phone. So I had to narrow it down using something I can. So it's like, what are my skills? What can I afford? By this point የሆነ ቦታ ኢንተርን ማድረግ ጀምሬ ነበር, and that was very eye opening because I thought በዚሁ career path ልቀጥል ብዬ ኮንሲደር እያደረኩት ነበር. And I had in 3 months I think I had 2 months worth of migraines. Not because the job is hard ሳይሆን I didn't want to do it, and it showed in my performance. And the person who hired me at the time, I feel like you don't want this job, ስለዚህ I need you to go ahead and look for one. You're not going to continue being an intern. It's fine ተባባልን. የ3 ወር ነበረ መጀመሪያም trial period, but that ended, so I left. Well, I wasn't invited back.
It's not like you had an option.
Good option ብቻ ላይ it was more of being set free, you know what I mean? የሆነ እድሉ ስለተሰጠ ብቻ and you feel a certain level of pressure, you would go there, but it's not something you feel. So I didn't enjoy that part. Because I had to sit down with my friend, who's not here now. So we started talking, and there were 2 possible paths I could have taken, and I chose this one because 1, it was relatively the fastest one. 2, the better payout. 3, it was better for my skill set. I was a people person. I read a lot. I can conversate with a lot of variety of people, and it would take very little effort. Please emphasis on very little effort, because at that point I didn't think I could do a lot of things. I didn't have faith in myself coming out of that. ከዛ ያው እንትን ሌላ ግቢ የግል ዩኒቨርሲቲ ሄድኩኝ ማርኬቲንግ መማር ጀመርኩ and I started enjoying it, and with enjoying it came me pouring more into it, and ከዛ በኋላ የሆነ እንዴት ነው it's a self-feeding cycle. You're good at it, you like it, you're good at it kind of thing እየሆነ ሄደ, and I started enjoying it very much to a point where my grades ወደ average ሲጠጉ, it's not even የሆነ መጥፎ ነገር ምናምን ሳይሆን ወደ ሰው ሲጠጋ disappointed ሆናለሁ. I had a job for a couple of months ሌላ ቦታ because ስልክ መግዛት ነበረብኝ እና ሄድኩኝ. ከዛ በኋላ እዛ እየሰራው I think I did ለ2 ወር ብቻ ነው የሰራሁት ስራ. So እዛ እየሰራሁኝ again the same thing happened. I couldn't be good at the job because I hated what I was doing, but I loved the pay. The pay was very good, so I stayed. Silking gazaw I left. And በዛ ሰዓት my grade was hard. And I understood if I stuck to the things I knew I liked and I knew I could perform well in, I'll be good. But the moment I step out, performance መጥፎ ይሆናል, and thus I won't like my experience in the place because I won't like myself. ወደ ተረፈ spiral ማድረግ ይጀምራል. Okay አልኩኝ. ከዛ during the last year paper ምናምን ስንሰራ my advisor and I ጸባያችን የሚገጥም ሰዎች ጥሩ እንትን ነበረን, relationship ነበረን. So when I was leaving, my grades were good ምናምን, so he asked me if I could consider teaching እዛው while taking my masters. I was like, I don't have time to look for a job, and ከዚህ በኋላ መቼም ማስተርስ መማር አይመስለኝም if I don't do it now. So yes, so I started teaching, and what a fulfilling thing it is. I didn't think it's how አስተማሪ መሆን መቃጠል ነው, you'll never get anywhere if you stay around, but I'm for once not bad at my job, you know what I mean? I enjoy it, I like it, and I was like, it makes sense to me, you know? I'm trying to explain something to you, I hope you get it, I hope you get it in this particular manner. So at the end people nod and you're like, yes. You know, it's like it feels really good. Fulfilling. Yes. So I understood what I liked doing. Because you know, I was COVID, I was into podcasts, and I was listening to a lot of them, and I could see clearly that it was something I would eventually like to do. Because this company became a thing. Because we went to their office, and I was like, this is what we do. I have 2 or 3 ideas. What do you think? They were like, it's a good idea. Why don't we start? Why don't we start now? And ከዛ maybe next time ተባለ እና ቀጠሮ ያዝን. ዋይን ይዘን መጣን.
Let me explain.
It's a pilot. It was never going to get out. We just wanted to see how it sounds, see what type of conversations we wanted to do.
If we're capable of it. If we are comfortable in front of a speaker.
Yes. And we had them laughing. A microphone. So like we had them laughing, they were entertained, and it was a high. So it was amazing, and it wasn't out of the ordinary. One of my favorite thing is because we already talk this way with each other, so bringing a camera and a mic was not that much of a change to the type of conversations we had. So people just get an insight. No, it's not completely addis ነገር አይደለም እና like I said, minimum effort.
No, you have no idea. The first day, I remember when you called me and said, okay, Taraki up, they have a studio and they're ready to shoot. ጉንፋን ይዞኝ ነበር. And ጉንፋን ሲባል ደግሞ ኢትዮጵያ ጉንፋን እናውቀዋለን. Like you wish you were dead type of ጉንፋን ይዞኝ ነበር. እና ስመጣ I was nervous. I was still developing on how to speak in public. And I remember my heart beating so loud that I could barely hear what was happening around me. And then I came and went better, which was great. And then I was just talking to my best friend like we usually do. There was nothing out of the ordinary except this thing in front of me. So it carried on so gently and so smooth that I completely forgot
we were
like, and that the way the people around us reacted, our production manager Nabara and the CEO of the company in the same room Nabara, and everybody was laughing and having fun and even speaking for us, Michael Lacho. But they forgot.
They would say something. It was so much fun.
Yeah, they forgot we were recording.
Listen to the pilot episode.
I will send it to you. Secret chat.
We have officially 108 recorded audios by the way.
Kudos to you guys.
35 nacho. So I don't need to tell you how many episodes we already have. Oh my god. And the fact that I get to experience all of this with somebody I really cherish in my life.
That's really great. I can
it's
imagine.
a wild thing.
And now I think all the elements I wanted in my life came to fruition. Because they're like, I'm not doing that bad. Relax. I am just now settling into like, my life may have come together. The idea of, okay, this is the picture I've wanted and it has now come together. We can breathe. moment. Like, it hopefully gets better. Even if it doesn't, I feel like I have given enough skill. I have been given enough skills to kind of get it together, and that's that's why I said somebody who's at least failed once.
I was coming to that.
They know, but it's like we can get it back together. Emilon Hassal, understand
I think a good communicator is very important.
Life የቀጣው ሰው እኮ ሳይወድ በግድ ማውራት ይጀምራል። I feel like yes, a good communicator, good data specify መደረግ አለበት. I feel
we've seen a few people that just shut down the moment things get rough, and now
does not have abandonment issues እንጨምርበት, because like when I abandoned them, I hope jokes.
You might as well try for a unicorn in your society.
Good, like abandonment issue ማለት ነው. I want it to be less violent. Like I have them. Mine are like crippling as opposed to violent. You know, like, I'm a piece of shit. I need no name. Like, let's stop this. አይደለም ገባ ይሄዳል እንደ ቤቱ ያሟል እንደ ነምበለ ቤት ሄደ ነው አይደለም motion memorable moment.
What is the one thing I'm skills to quitting it or surviving it?
You need to know how to kiss to a certain level without it being groveling.
Well, want this.
You can fail and get up.
Some get not.
Whether you like it, you survived that location. You're one of those who actually graduated.
I'm not proud of it.
And I'm suspended by it would have been a different story.
So I was suspended. COVID got in the way. I actually finished in, I think, 7 years. 7 years I got the paper.
Medicine.
What has COVID done to your education?
Graduate ካረኩ በኋላ ነው
COVID የነበረው? It delayed me 2 months or 3.
2 months.
እንደዛ
የኛ ባች ላይ 3 ወር ነው። በዚህ ላይ ትምህርት ቤታችን surprisingly ጥሩ ሲስተም ነበረው. So they had online assignment መላክ ትችላለህ፣ መቀበል ትችላለህ። ቪዲዮ ኮርሶች አሉ። አስተማሪው ስላይዱን አድርጎ ያወራ ያስረዳ ቪዲዮ ድሮፕ ማድረግ ይችላል። አሳይመንት መስጠት ይችላሉ ምናምን ግሩፕ ዲስከሽን ሁላ ማድረግ የምትችልበት ሲስተም አላቸውና like for a semester they use that, so everybody ሲመለስ ይሄ month and a half ተምረሽ ልንፈተን ተመልሰን ነበረ. So by that point እኛ already ተምረናል ሙሉ ሴሚስተር። ስለዚህ አስተማሪዎቹ መጥተው they were just trying to cover whatever is necessary ብለው ያሰቡትን ነገር. So I think ብዙ አልተጎዳንም።
COVID መሳብ ያደረገው the hairdressing business በዛ ሰዓት
right
was horrible. መጀመሪያ መክፈት አይፈቀደልሽም ጭራሽ was illegal. ስለዚህ ትዘጊያለሽ but መዝጋትሽ ብቻ ሳይሆን when you actually care about your employees you have to pay them. ገብቶሻል?
Income?
So for like 3 months I was paying my employees without any income ማለት ነው. So if the business was not functional በዛ ሰዓት that would have destroyed me completely. ልክ ከግራጁዌሽን በኋላ ነበረ. And if we did not have any savings, I did not have any other incomes, ካፌውንም አልከፈትኩትም ነበር በዛ ሰዓት, would have been horrendous. And now I was so scared. If that opening did not happen when it did, it would have been very terrifying for me.
Honestly speaking, for my mental health, it's the best thing that happened to me.
The peace of staying home.
What is the peace of staying? Like I said, I am an extrovert. So I started berating and abusing my family by week 2.
Oh, wow.
The
exact opposite happened to my family though. So, get this. My dad, Nani, በጣም ቅርብ ነን ነበር እንደሩም so dad retire ካረገ በኋላ ትምህርት ቤት ይመጣል ምናምንና እንደ ስታፍ ነው የሚያዩት ሌሎች ወላጆች እሱ እና በቃ ምሳ አንዳንዴ አብረን እንበላለን ኦር ኬክ ቤት ይወስደናል ምናምን ከትንሿ ተይጋ so ካቴድራል ስገባ ትንሽ ሁለታችን መርካቶ ነበር ራጉኤል መማረው so ካቴድራል ስገባ እሷ ጋር ሞር አለ እኔ ጋር አልፎ ይመጣል so ከዛ ግቢ ስገባ ያ ኮኔክሽን kind of disappeared ያው እኔም ጉርምስና ነው ግቢ ነው ዶርም አለኝ እዛ ነው ማድረው ምናምን ስለዚህ ብዙ ኮኔክሽኑ እንደ ድሮ አልነበረም was still there and covid happened and በቃ ድጋሚ repaired ነው የተደረገው ያቺ ትንሽ drift apart ስናረግ የነበረው ነገር to this day አሁን በጣም strongly close ያደረገን covid ነው ብዬ ነው ማስበው
I think the thing that fixed it for me so covid ማርች ላይ ነበረ መጋቢት አይደል ከዛ ሚያዝያ ላይ ሰራተኛችን ዘመዶቼ ጋር መሄድ ፈልጋለሁ አለች okay ከሄድሽ እንዳመጪ አለቻት my mom ከዛ I got promoted to ሰራተኛ
በጣም
so it gave me a certain level of comfort with being home. I didn't have that. I felt very anxious. We'll talk about this in the future, but a lot of trauma with staying home nabarak so like I used to avoid it a lot na covid metta I actually started enjoying home na for 5 months yebi saratenya nabarku I was doing tasks every day I would get up I would wear the most okay I'm going to put you onto something you've seen it but I'm going to say it out loud
just beware hey publicly post it
oh no
Duriya hoodie you can add shash or socks or both
you know that myth that every man has bet mebet corner she won't dress up that's their fear gaptoshana that exact situation
like my dream female state is like a menopaused woman so
she said it out loud
so like I feel like there's like they do not give a shit about anything it's like ፈለጉትን ይላሉ የፈለጉትን ያረጋሉ ከዛ በኋላ you have to explain
ፈለግሽን
ትንሽ ያዘኝና
this is her tamed
okay
I can't believe that word made a circle
finally
I would wear that and I would clean up the house dance ዘፍናለሁ ማዘሬ ለምሳ ትመጣለች ለሷ ቡና አቀራርባለሁ ምሳ እንበላለን ከዛ በኋላ ትሄዳለች I would maybe have to do dinner or like ካለም መስተካከል ያለበት ነገር ይስተካከላል ምናምን so like I was doing that for months on end so my friends would come and they would have to sit in the kitchen to have any conversation with me so I had a really good time na mentally repaired ሆኜ ወጣው ማለት ነው እሱ ባይኖር ኖሮ I think I would have burnt out and sorry for the people who died though
we didn't even think about that this whole time
mentally I got fixed good like a lot of things by the time we went out ምንድነው የጆብ ኦፖርቹኒቲያችን ተለውጧል ኢንፍሌሽን አብዶ ነበረ a lot of the jobs that used to be secure አይደሉም አሁን a lot of the hopes and dreams you would have in businesses or ምናምን completely shift አድርገው ነው የመጡትና like everything but my mental health was bad. Everything. And by the time a year ምናምን ሲያልፍ የሆነ regression to the mean ነው የሚባለው ትንሽ ተመልሰናል ወደ ለመድነው ነገር
ደግሞ we forget it እንጂ እኔ አሁን ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ ያስተዋልኩት ነገር ማስክ በ300 እንዳልተሸጠ አሁን everybody forgot COVID at all like
don't you have spare masks አሁን ቤት
እንደለን ምንም አናረገው ምንም ማለት ነው
ለጉንፋን ነው ተጠቀመው ጉንፋን ያዘኝ let me use this thing ብዬ ነው የምጠቀመው እንጂ ምንም
COVID still exists, but we just don't care anymore. Now, Ethiopian society has talked. I thought it was just me. Yona and ነገር no matter how bad it is, so store ካለፈው በኋላ it's just it is life being የሚቀጥለው እኔ ብቻ አይመስለኝ ነበር. No, it's a society thing now. And COVID still exists and we still have old people that are very susceptible to this kala mask going to very public areas. I'm like I'm so glad it's a social thing and it's a very peaceful social thing.
It's not just I think of course not just the old people that የኛ ሀገር ያው immunity issue ያለመታከም ፍቅር a lot of ሰው እኮ እስከሚወድቅ ድረስ ጤነኛ ነኝ ብሎ ነው የሚያስበው መንገድ ላይ ወድቆ እስከሚገኝ ድረስና በቃ a lot of issues እንዳለው ሆኖ አለን ቆመን እንሄዳለን ለም airborne disease ባስ ታክሲ እኛ እንደምንሄድበት ሜተድ
አላደረገንም እኮ ኮቪድ
እና እንደውም my fear was at the time ሰዎቹ ሊታከሙ ሄደዋል መባል ነበረ at that time my fear ተይዘናል አይደል ሁላችንም
yes
yeah አይደል what did you do
sleep 3 days and good
you
shows I finished a lot of shows solitary in one room ምግብ ይመጣልኛል በላ
አጥሚት
a lot of
አጥሚት in 2 consecutive days ሙሉ ፔርሙዝ ግን እኔ I just need an excuse for አጥሚት እውነቱን ለመናገር I love that
በማር ወይንስ
በማር ግን sometimes I've seen my family do ቂቤ I don't mind it
I've seen በርበሬ
አጥሚት ራሱ በራሱ እንዴት ነው የሚጠጣላችሁ
ማለት my aunt is like of all the things ማለት ነው አሁን ሬሲፒ የሚያስፈልገኝ ለእንደዚህ አይነት ነገሮች እንደሆነ ተረድቻለሁ like I don't care for what recipes I need የቅመማ ቅመምና የእነዚህ ነገሮች ዝግጅት ሬሲፒ so my aunt does 13 እህል 20 እህል ታይፕ ያለው አጥሚት ሚክስ ትሰራለች ናኛ ይመጣልናል so አሁን crippled ነን I think if she
boiled rotten
yes so ለምደን yeah na ምንም እህል ማድረግ እንደምትችል eventually ነው ተማርኩት like anything can be አጥሚት I need that on a t-shirt
can be አጥሚት
I want to learn how to make araki so badly የሚያስተምረኝ ሰው ካለ ባካችሁ
you can literally look it up on the internet
no araki
doesn't
you can't you can do moonshine but Habesha araki no plus demo if you do it wrong you could just blind somebody ገብቶሻል
አክስቴ ጋር ይዤ እሄዳለሁ
please I would love to soon ጠላ ጠጅ I want to learn it
ጠላ ድፍድፍ ይሸጣል
I want to learn no going to learn ማረጌ ነው
I think I can do it I'm not sure
አክስትሽ ጋር ስትሄዱ መልዛው
ግን anyways እነዚህ ሬሲፒዎች መጻፍ እንዳለባቸው ዘንድሮ ነው ያወቅኩት it took me a while
you think
maybe season 4 ላይ ስንገባ our opening የሚሆነው us actually learning this stuff with the people be honest
how to make ጠላ
and then how not to get blind with araki
እውነቱን ለመናገር እንትን ነው የአረቄ let's not get into alcoholic conversations we've done it once we didn't come out of it safe thank you for coming here ባንቲዬ
ምንም አይደለም
ሰርግን እንግዲህ ታበላኛለህ ብዬ ተስፋ አደርጋለሁ አይ በቃ ከቸርቹ
በላለን ኮላስ ሰርጉ ሲመጣ እሱ
you have a root number right?
By the way we're good at doing makeup as is
yes
parent
I really want to meet her and interview her but I'm ያሰብኩት ነው
she's really interesting the moment she was interesting ያለሱ ነበር ግን
shots were fired
evil I like evil
I like it anyways
and it's like to me I think she's really like Jesus በክርስቶስ እንዴ እንረጋጋ ምላሱ ነው at his ripe age of 30
28
and you think he's not possessive about his woman actually she's interesting without him no
ምን አረጋታለሁ
that's beside the point you expect logic and emotion at the
exactly.
same time
I usually do it's my downfall
okay
as long as you're
no wedding no money
ቤተሰቦችን እናናገራለን anyways thank you Taraki for the space and platform you have provided us eskazare
shout out Taraki
everybody that helped us set up this studio today everybody that helps us edit our videos would like to thank you and thank you to the people who've listened to our first 2 seasons and continue to support us thank you for having me salam
bye bye